Students, see, in the last video, we studied about the center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, optical center, principal focus, and focal length of the lens. Now, see, try this. Material required for this is convex lens, screen, meter scale, stand for the lens, etc. So what all you require for this? You require a convex lens, then you require a screen, okay, for the image, then meter scale, that is to measure the distance, and stand for the lens, okay, so that you can adjust the lens on the stand. Then method, what you are going to do is, keeping the screen fixed, obtain a clear image of a distant object like a tree or a building with the help of the lens on the screen. So you're going to keep the screen fixed and you're going to obtain the image on this screen. So you're going to obtain the image of a tree or a building with the help of the lens, any distant object. Then measure the distance between the screen and the lens with the help of the meter scale. So after that is, once you get a clear image on the screen, then you are going to measure the distance between the screen and the lens. You are going to obtain the distance between the screen and the lens with the help of the meter scale. Now turn the other side of the lens towards the screen. Now what you are going to do? You are going to turn the other side of the lens, okay, towards the screen. Again obtain a clear image of the distant object on the screen by moving the lenses forward or backward. Measure the distance between the screen and the lens again. So what you're going to do, first you're going to keep the screen fixed, then with the help of the lens, okay, you are going to obtain a clear image of a distant object like a tree or a building. Then you are going to measure the distance between the screen and the lens. Now what you are going to do, after doing this, you are going to turn the other side of the lens towards the screen. Then again you are going to obtain a clear image of the distant object on the screen, okay, by moving the lens forward or backward. Then you are going to measure the distance. What is the distance between the lens and the screen called? Yes, so what is the distance between the lens and the this one screen called? Yes, we have studied this, isn't it? Just before, that is in the last video, I explained this to you. So the distance between the lens and the screen, it is called as the focal length. So at the focus you're going to obtain the image. So the point where you're going to obtain the image is called as the focus. So the distance between the focus, okay, and the screen is called as the focal length. So the distance between the image and the screen, okay. So now here what is it asked to you? Discuss the relation, okay. What is the distance between this distance and the radius of the curvature of the lens with your teacher? The image of a distant object is obtained close to the focus of the lens. Hence, the above distance is the focal length of the lens. So, what will happen if you use a concave lens in this experiment? So, see, in case of a concave lens, the image is formed on the same side of the lens where you have kept the object. Now, ray diagram for refraction. You have learned the rules for drawing ray diagrams for spherical mirrors, Similarly, one can obtain the images formed by lenses with the help of ray diagrams. So, ray diagrams for refraction you have learned last year, in the standard 9th. You have already learned the ray diagram regarding the spherical mirrors, isn't it? Now in this chapter, okay, you're going to learn the ray diagram regarding the images formed by lenses. So similarly, one can obtain the images formed by lenses with the help of ray diagrams. One can obtain the position, size and nature of the images with the help of these diagrams. Students, see, I'll show you the above activity in this video clip.
To the chapter Refraction of Light at Curved Surfaces. Take a V-stand. Keep it at the middle of a table of length 2 meters. Take a convex lens. Place it on the V-stand. Assume a line passing through the center of the lens as its principal axis. Light up a candle and ask your friend to hold the lighted candle and move away from the lens in such a way that the candle moves along the principal axis. Take a sheet of white paper. Place it on other side of lens perpendicular to the principal axis and of lens and note it down as image distance V. Similarly, find the distance between the candle and stand of lens and note it down as object distance U. Repeat the same procedure for different object distances of 60 centimeters, 50 centimeters and 40 centimeters. Here, image distance V and object distance U are very useful to calculate the focal length. Let us now find the relation among the object distance U, image distance V and focal length F.
So, see, similarly, one can obtain the images formed by lenses with the help of ray diagrams. So, with the help of ray diagrams, you have seen you are going to obtain where is the image formed, how is the image, okay. See, one can obtain the position. You can obtain the position where the image is formed, whether it is formed on the same side of the mirror or whether it is formed on the other side of the mirror, whether then size, whether it is a diminished image or whether it is of the same size of the object or whether it is highly enlarged. So you are going to find it out with the help of this ray diagram, and also the nature, whether the image is a real image or the virtual image, as well as you will find out that whether the image formed is erect or inverted image. So with the help of these diagrams you will be able to find out. Now, images formed by convex lens. One can use following 3 rules to draw ray diagrams obtained by convex lenses. So, rule 1, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray passes through the principal focus. So, you know this, when the incident ray, okay, you can see here this blue color line, okay, it is incident ray. So, when the incident ray is parallel, this is the principal axis, isn't it? So, when this incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, then the refracted ray, it will pass through the focus. Now, same thing you studied in case of mirror also, isn't it? That is, when the incident ray there also, when it is parallel to the principal axis, it passed to the focus. Now here also same thing, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray is going to pass through the principal focus. Now, the rule number 2 is, when the incident ray passes through the principal focus, the refracted ray is parallel to the principal axis. This also was the same thing in case of mirror rule 2. See, when the incident ray is going to be, that is when the incident ray is going to pass through this focus, okay, the refracted ray which is going to come out is going to be parallel to this principal axis. Now see, rule number 3, okay, when the incident ray passes through the optical center of the lens, it passes without changing its direction. So when the incident, you saw there also in case of mirror, when the incident ray was going to pass through the pole of the mirror, that time the refracted ray also was going to, that is it was going to pass through the pole without deflection, isn't it? That so here also same thing, when the incident ray is going to pass through the optical center of the lens, it passes without changing its direction. See, so when it is passing through the optical center, okay, now there you saw in case of mirror that when the incident ray was going to pass through the optical through the pole of the mirror, the refracted ray, okay, was going to come, that is was going to pass through the same path, isn't it? Now see, these 3 rules are going to be very important, okay. So what are the 3 rules? Rule 1, when the incident ray, okay, is parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray passes through the principal focus. So you can see here, the incident ray is parallel to this principal axis, the refracted ray is going to pass through the focus. The second rule, when the incident ray is going to pass through the focus, the reflected ray will be parallel to the principal axis. When the incident ray passes through the optical center of the lens, okay, so see, when the incident ray is going to pass through the optical center, then it is going to pass without, the refracted ray is going to pass without changing its direction. So you can see here, the reflected ray is going to pass without changing its direction. Now material, okay, try this. The material required is a convex lens, screen, meter scale, stand for the lens, chalk, candle, etc. So the material required over here is convex lens, screen, meter scale, stand for the lens. Now method, you are going to draw a straight line along the center of a long table. Okay, so you're on the table, what you're going to do is you're going to draw a straight line and then place the lens on the stand at the central point of the line. So you can see here at the center, the convex lens is placed on the stand. Then place the screen, okay, you can and mark it as O. Now place the screen on one side of the lens. So this is the lens, you can see on one side of the lens, okay. Yes, you are going to place the screen. Move it along the line so as to get a clear image of a distant object. So you're going to move this screen, okay, so that you get the that is you get a clear image of the distant object, and you're going to mark it as F1. Measure the distance between O and F1. So measure the distance O, and you can see here this is O and F1. So from here to here you are going to measure the distance. Mark a point at distance to F1, okay. Yes, from O on the same side of F1 and mark it as 2. So what you are going to do? You are going to mark a point, okay, at distance to F1. So you can see the 2F1 written here. From O, okay, on the same side of F1. Then see, repeat actions 3 and 4 on the other side of the lens. Same thing you're going to mark, okay, on the other side of the, in the same way you're going to mark it, F2 and 2F2. Now place the burning candle on the other side of lens far beyond 2F1. So you're going to place the candle far beyond the 2F1. Then place the screen on the opposite side of the lens. You're going to place the screen on the other side of the lens and obtain a clear image of the candle by moving it forward or backward along the line. So you're going to move the you're going to place the screen on the other side, okay, on the opposite side of the lens, and you're going to obtain the clear image of the lens. You're going to place the lens on the other side, isn't it? See, and you're going to place it beyond 2F1, and then you're going to move this screen in such a way that you obtain a clear image on this screen. Note the position, size and nature of the image. Repeat action 6 by placing the candle beyond 2F1 at 2F1. So what you're going to do, first you place the object beyond 2F1. Now you will place it on 2F1, okay. Then you're going to place it at that is between 2F1 and F1, at F1 and between at F1, and then between F1 and O, and then you're going to record your observations. So here you can see, I'll show it to you. See, first of all you're going to keep the object, okay, beyond 2F1, okay. Then you will place the object at 2F1, then between 2F1 and F1, then at F1, then between F1 and O, okay, and then keeping this at every position, okay, you're going to record the observation that is at what distance you have obtained a clear image on the screen. Then you're going to record the observation, the size, that is the position, size and nature of the image. So you are going to record it. So the next one is, can you recall? So think about this. You have studied this in your previous class. What are real and virtual images? How will you find out whether an image is real or virtual? And can a virtual image be obtained on a screen? So you are going to study this, okay. You're going to recall it. See if you can recall. Otherwise I'll be telling you this in our next video, okay. So today see what all we studied. That is, in the last video I told you we studied about what is center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, optical center and principal focus and focal length. Then in this video, okay, I showed you, that is I explained this activity as well as showed you also how the rate, that is the image is formed. So in detail again I will show you one more video clip, okay, regarding how images are formed by this convex lens. Then we saw the 3 rules also, okay. Now this rules I told you, they are very important. Rule 1, rule 2 and rule 3. In case of rule 1, okay, you saw that when the incident ray is parallel, this is the principal axis. When the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray is going to pass through the focus. Then when incident ray passes through the focus, the reflected ray is going to be parallel to the principal axis. Okay, here again this is the principal axis. Then when the incident ray passes through the optical center, the reflected ray is going to pass without any deviation. So these three rules I have told you again and again. The reason for this is that it's going to be very important. This can be asked in your exam. So study it. Okay. So let us continue. Okay, in the next video.